What's going on, guys? Xavier Cottle here, and today we're going to be going over how the Colts dominated their Week 14 matchup versus the Raiders. If you did not watch this game, you missed out because this was probably the best performance I've seen from this offense all year. Easily, the run was working, the pass was working, play action was working. It really didn't matter what we did, it was working. Hats off to Frank Reich for that. He had an excellent game plan. The game plan was actually so good that the Raiders went and fired their defensive coordinator after this game. So again, hats off to Frank Reich. Hats off to Eberflus. He did a really good job. The bend don't break was working very well this game. But after watching this game on film, I had 5 key takeaways I thought really stood out to me. And one of them I just talked about. It was the run game and the pass game looked great. It really looks like Jonathan Taylor starting to come alive. Nyheim Hines was doing a really good job. The offensive line was blocking really well. And then the offensive line was also protecting Rivers. He was doing a really good job surveying the field. He was doing his thing back there. So I was really excited about that. The next thing was that the offensive line played to that incredibly high standard. Pretty much every Colts fan holds them to, including myself. I hold them to a really high standard. I love this offensive line. I like every single player on it. I think every single player is unique, and they bring their own thing to the game. So it's really cool how good they are. And this year I've seen a lot of people dog them, and I don't think that's very fair. I think they've done a really good job with what they've been presented. Literally teams have stacked the box 2.5 times more than last year. I'm not making that is a literal statistic that is true. It's hard to run the ball against a stacked box, especially at that rate. But the third thing I did notice is that Frank Reich is in the Coach of the Year conversation. I think right now the NFL has him at number 5. I think that's a pretty good place. I think that's about where I would put him to, maybe number 6. Before this game, they had him at number 7. So I think he's went up 2 spots. I could be wrong about that. But that's probably about where I would put him to. Number 5 sounds pretty good. But the fourth thing is something I just talked about already too, is the bend don't break defense worked really well this game. There was 3 separate drives in the red zone for the Raiders. 2 of them ended in field goals. 1 of them ended in an interception. So hats off to Eberflus for that. That was a really good job from him. There's a really good schemed defense. I was happy to see that. They might have moved the ball a little bit more than I would have liked. But this Raiders offense has statistically been the most efficient offense in the league. Number 1 in third down conversion. They run the ball really well. They pass the ball really well. Derek Carr's had a great year. Josh Jacobs as well. This has been a good offense, and we did what we had to win this game. I'm happy our offense played the way it did, because if they didn't show up, this could have went south for us, but they did, and we did a great job that Sunday. And the last thing I want to talk about, it is really the most important to me, is the fact that Jonathan Taylor is starting to look like the man. Jonathan Taylor is starting to look like that second-round pick we spent on him. He's doing a great job the last couple of games. He's really looked like that number 1 running back we drafted. Especially this game, he looked like no one could tackle him. He was making people miss left and right. I don't know if you guys remember this, but 4 or 5 weeks ago, I don't remember which game it was, he was playing really badly. He got benched. And Wilkins came in, did a good job. But after the game, Reich finds out that he was injured. And after Reich finds out that he was injured, he's like, I didn't even know about this. So he was the last one to know. Taylor could have been dealing with a bit of an ankle injury the whole season. He didn't tell anyone. He tried to play through it, tough it out. Maybe now he's just getting healthy, because every single time I see him touch the ball, he's making someone miss now. That was not the case earlier in the season. I think before this game or the last game, he had made 7 people miss all season. Then it's like in the last 2 games, it's like 15 or 16, something crazy. He's making people miss left and right. He's doing a great job, and I'm loving to see that, because I really like Jonathan Taylor. I like his skill set. I like what he brings to this Colts offense. But now we're going to get into the analysis part. I do have a lot of plays for you guys, so buckle up. I got about 21 plays here. I really went through this game. I thought this was a pivotal game for us, and I thought this was easily the biggest game of our young or our aging season. The first play here is going to be Jonathan Taylor. He's just going to make a great play. This is what I was talking about. You know, he was kind of injured. He wasn't playing hard. His cuts didn't look good. But right here, immediately, this guy just stunts inside. He makes a nice move. Protection breaks down, and Jonathan Taylor just puts a nice move on him and gets upfield for 13 yards. Let's see it. Yeah, excellent move there from Taylor. And that's something, like I was talking about, we didn't see that earlier in the season. Now we're starting to see it, and that's really cool. So this next play I'm going to show you is another running play. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you the offensive execution. I'm going to show you run plays, then I'll show you the pass plays, and then I'll show you the defense, them making their plays, and then executing in the red zone. But on this play, we just see a great job from our front five guys and Jack Doyle, who I consider to be one of the best run blocking tight ends in the league. You could put them maybe second, maybe third. I would definitely put him in that top three conversation. Nick Boyle's really good, and obviously George Kittle. But Doyle's right up there with him. He's incredibly strong, and whenever he goes to run block, he is very mean. He wants to hit somebody hard. And right here, we're going to see a great play design. We're going to see everyone back block. Kelly Nelson going to back block onto this guy. 75, he's going to back block onto this end. We're going to see Glowinski move his guy that's right here. He's going to try to shoot this guy, but he's going to get moved. That helps Glowinski. Glowinski likes this block because he's working against himself. And he's going to move him over here. 50's going to get caught in the mess, and then Braden Smith's going to do a great job working to 44. But the biggest block here is going to be Doyle coming around. They're going to trap him, and he's going to take out Max Crosby right here with a fantastic chop block. Let's see it. Boom. That's a great play right there. That's really good patience. That's something we didn't see from Taylor earlier in the season. See how he's patient. He's not forcing it. He's not just running into a hole. He's waiting. He's looking. And he does a great job of finding the open room and getting upfield for a good 18-yard gain. So this next play I'm going to show you, it's going to be Hines. And this is a really good play call right here. As you can see, there's 5 people on the line, and we're going to call it inside zone. Whenever you run zone, everyone on your line is going to take a step left. And here, this is the perfect play call because we have people in the exact right spots we want them to be. Whenever they step left, these guys are all going to fight the outside shoulder of their lineman. So Hines is going to have a huge cutback lane right up the middle. Glowinski is going to do a really good job of working to 44, and Braden Smith's going to block this guy. Now, this defensive end right here, he's going to penetrate. Now, Braden takes a good step, but he just beats Braden on his outside shoulder, which is counterintuitive to him because whenever you're running inside zone to the left, him doing that is taking the easy way out. And he's nowhere near fast enough to catch Hines, and Hines is going to get a huge gain here on this play. Let's see it. See how he beats him? But it doesn't matter because, like I said, he's running inside zone to the left, and he's not going to catch Hines. Hines is way too fast, and that huge hole opens up right there. Now keep in mind, there's a couple plays that look like this where the defense is just really bad out of position, and they just fired their defensive coordinator for a reason. So that could be the reason for all these holes opening up. But this is a excellently blocked. That's exactly what you want to see, and we end up getting a huge gain out of it. So this next play I'm going to show you is going to be another great play call. Right here, it's the 27-second mark. The second quarter, it's about to end the second quarter, and we're 3rd and 10 around that area, and we need a first down. And now they only have 5 in the box, so what do? We run the ball. Now I know it's 3rd down, or 3rd and 10 I should say, but this is a really good play call because we have favorable matchups. We're going to run the ball right at the middle, right off Glowinski's left hip here. And as you can see, it's 5 on 5, so it's big on big, belly on belly, whatever you guys want to call it. And right here, you're going to see Glowinski turn his guy out. That's a favorable matchup. It's an easy block. He already has the inside leverage. Same thing with Quentin, where I'm always confident that Quentin can make a backside block anyways. And Kelly's going to do a really good job of working up the number 50 and getting a good block on him. That's going to allow Taylor to get through this hole and get a big gain out of it for the first down. Let's see it. Yeah, really good job right there. So in this play, I'm sure you all have seen it, even if you didn't watch this game. This is Taylor's big 62-yard run. And this was excellently blocked. It was a great play call because they're going to bring pressure through this backside area. They're going to blitz 50 through here. 24 is going to realize late that this is going to be an outside zone, so he's going to try to work his way over here, but he can't catch him. And the reason it worked so well is because we run this outside zone. 44 is responsible for number 80 here. So whenever this ball is snapped, he's going to rotate over, and these two guys are going to try to fill through here, and this ball is going out here. So this was a recipe for disaster for the Raiders from the jump. This is what I call a blind counter. Rivers sees that these guys are creeped up here. He might know they're blitzing, but you don't know for sure. But still yet, it worked really well. They overloaded this side. Rivers recognized that. He checks to this play because I think we had a different play call initially. He's going to bring him in motion, just throw them off a little bit, not show them what we're trying to do, make them think it's a pass. And then Taylor's going to take off for a huge gain to the right. Notice he brings him in motion. That's just to throw him off. Snaps the ball, and these guys come flowing through backside, and Taylor's gone. He sees green, and he goes. Yeah, that's an excellent play. That's a really good play call there. Like I said, is this a blind counter exactly? It's hard to say. But I really think it is. That was excellent blocking there from our offensive line as well on the right side. I'm going to see Kelly open up, work to the outside, get a good block there. Yeah, that's great. That is fantastic. One more time. Yeah, he's coming through backside. I think they think it's a pass, especially after that motion. So that's a really good job by Rivers just to throw him off. We're going to get a huge gain and a touchdown. So this is another run from Hines. I have a lot of runs in here because we had a lot of big runs, huge runs. The run game was working. Our offensive line was churning. They were killing people up front. It was a great game from our offensive line and our running back core. But here, this run is well blocked. Our offensive line gets off the ball hard. They're physical. People work up to the next level. And it's going to end up bunching up here. And 25, being scared that Hines has somehow slipped through here, is going to take off running. He's going to be undisciplined here. He's not going to set this edge. Hines is going to recognize that, stop in his tracks, and then use that college track speed to get to the outside for a big 13-yard gain. Let's see it. 25 collapses upfield. That's an issue. You can't do that. You can't lose containment on Hines. That's where you go wrong right there. This actually might have been more than 13 yards. This might have been, I don't know. That's a pretty big gain. That looked like 20 plus. Yeah, great run there. Yeah, you can't do that as the edge man. You have to keep containment there. Yeah, that looked about 35 actually. Where did we start that run? Nah, I think it was 28-ish. But yeah, great run there from Hines. That just shows you the speed he has. If you lose containment on that edge, you're not going to hawk him down. This middle safety back here ended up having to do it because he left 25 in the dust. Great play there from Hines. And so on this last run play I have for you guys, Frank Reich had to flex his play design just a little bit. We've seen Burton back there doing the read option. We've seen a lot of stuff from Reich this year. We've seen a lot of end arounds that stop in the middle, come back for a 25-yard passing touchdown to Hines. We've seen a lot of creativity from Reich. That's something that I love about him. I think he's one of the most, if not the most creative coach in this league. He finds a way to use people that you would not expect. I'm sure you guys remember the Philly special. That was engineered by Frank Reich. He's just a great play designer. That's the thing I love the most about him. And on this play, we're going to be in Wildcat. You're going to see them put Hines back here at quarterback, Taylor at running back, and they're going to run a read option here. And both these guys are going to come up right here off this edge, and they're going to stop. and they're going to think Hines. Hines is going to hand this ball off to Taylor, but just the run itself wasn't impressive to me. What was really impressive was Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is going to handle up on Abram. I mean, just handle up on him, put him on the ground. This is a crazy block. If you guys didn't see that block from Pascal either, Pascal flattened Vic Beasley. We have maybe the best run blocking receiver group in the league, and you know we could make a case for that. But let's see the play. There's Pittman, just handles up on him, puts him right on his back. These two guys right here are too preoccupied, like I said, with Hines, and that's just going to let Taylor walking to the end zone. He's too fast. We'll pause it right there. See, both of them stop in their tracks. They're looking at Hines. Hines does a good job of faking like he's going to keep the ball, so they both get frozen, and then just hand it off, and Taylor walks into the end zone. That was an excellent play. Great play design and a fantastic block there from Pittman. And so now we're going to move on to the passing segment. This was a really great play here. Great recognition by Phillip Rivers to snuff out this man coverage. So you're going to see guys pressed up over here. And that was the first indicator to him that this was man coverage. And just for him to be sure, he's going to move Pittman over here behind Jack Doyle. Now that he's done that, this guy's going to have to come over top. This guy's pressing Jack Doyle. And Pittman is on a crossing route. So Rivers already knows, since this is man coverage, this crossing route's going to work because this guy's going to have to go all the way over Doyle or beat Doyle somehow to the inside. And that's going to free up Pittman for a big catch and run right here. Here goes Pittman. Like I said, he had to get over Doyle, and he couldn't. That's the biggest issue with that play. That creates natural rubbing. Try to slow it down here and pause it for you guys. Right there. It creates that natural rubbing. Allows Pittman to get open. And Pittman is a pretty quick guy to be 6'4", 225. So once he catches this ball, he gets off to the races, gets upfield. He gets a really big gain there. So this next play I'm going to show you, it's just going to be a really good throw and catch between T.Y. Hilton and Phillip Rivers. So initially, Phillip Rivers is going to bring 21 Nyheim Hines in motion just to see what they have called. Now, he sees this guy pressed down here, and this guy is backed off. So he's showing they're not giving T.Y. Hilton much respect. And, you know, from the season, who really would? T.Y. Hilton's not – I don't think he's been playing bad. I think he's had pretty decent separation, but he just hasn't been getting the targets as normal. He hasn't been really having these huge games. Now, the week before this, he did. He went and paid rent at the Texas Stadium like he always does. He owns that place. And on this play, Phillip Rivers is going to recognize this immediately. He knows these corners for the Raiders are not very good, and he's just going to say, hey, you want to leave T.Y. on a one-on-one? I'll take that. And he's going to throw a really good ball to T.Y. right here for a touchdown. Snaps the ball. T.Y. gets upfield. Great catch there. Great throw and catch, man. I love seeing that. I've been waiting for this all year. T.Y. Hilton has always been one of my favorite Colts. And right there, T.Y. Hilton just makes a great adjustment to the ball and brings that down. Defender draped all over him. Still brings it down, still scores. And he's going to do his TD celebration, of course. So on this play, we got another great passing play. This one is play action. Like I said, everything was working. So when the run's working and the pass is working, play action is definitely going to be there. Taylor was running all over them. And right here, you're going to see this defense show Jonathan Taylor a lot of respect. And so what's going to happen is we're going to run this play action. Boom. Everyone's going to commit. Look how many people are up. He has his eyes up. And the only guy that's really matters right now is doing a good job on Jack Doyle. Jack Doyle is going to be the target of this pass. But Phillip Rivers knows he's going to be one-on-one. This is cover one high safety. He sees the man coverage. So this tells him this is going to be cover one. There's going to be a guy right here. But Jack Doyle, being the jack of all trades that he is going to do a really good job of getting separation from this guy right here. He's going to run an excellent route. And Phillip Rivers is going to hit him for about 28 yards. Yeah, you see that head turn? That was a good job. Um, Turns his head right at the beginning there, just to show him a little bit, just to get him off balance, and gets wide open right there. So this next play I'm going to show you is a really good play call from Reich. This is a cover two zone beater, and this is something the Raiders like to run. Like us, they love that cover two. They're obviously not as good as us because they don't have the defensive front, they don't have the linebacker core, and they don't have the secondary. We're better than them at all three levels there, hands down. But right here, this is going to be a really good play call. I don't know if you can see him right now, maybe his legs, but Pittman up here is going to run up here and he's going to do a little in. And it's going to be right between the safety and right out of the reach of this guy in the flats. And actually, the thing that impressed me the most really on this play was Jonathan Taylor's pass protection here, because this guy comes screaming through here. I mean, untouched. And Jonathan Taylor runs up and licks him and runs him out of the way. I mean, this was a great block from him. Boom, great block there. Now, you see this, what I'm talking about. This is the guy that's going to be flats. And he follows him all the way up here, but he kind of lets him go. And that was just enough for Phillip Rivers to throw this ball and find him right between this safety in the cover two and right between the corner. Pittman turns upfield and gets a good gain. That's a really good play call. We'll see it full speed once. Here it is. Here's the corner. He kind of stops. Yeah, you see how he's hesitant. That's a good cover two beater. If you know that's cover two, that's perfect, because this guy draws this right here. We'll stop it. Now this guy hypothetically could drop back here and be in the area for this pass. But whenever you run Zach Pascal on this hitch, that draws him over and that frees up Pittman to be wide open. That's really how this play works. It puts him right in between the zones. It's a zone beater. That's a perfect play call. So this next play I'm going to show you is going to be that absolute bomb from Phillip Rivers to T.Y. Hilton. This was a huge play, big momentum boost. And it was just a really great play call. Because right here, they're going to drop back into their cover three. He's going to have a third, he's going to have a third, and he's going to have a third. And right here, T.Y. Hilton's going to take off in this straight line. Abrams going to open his hips up actually to the outside because he thinks he's going to run this corner. But that doesn't happen. He actually runs the post. And so Abrams out of position, and T.Y. Hilton just absolutely burns him. If you think T.Y. Hilton don't have speed, wait till you see this play. Watch how fast T.Y. Hilton is running. There it is. Boom. Turns on that speed after he hits that. Look at how much separation, man. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It makes me wonder why we weren't targeting T.Y. more during the season, but hey, I'll take it. Now he's coming on when it really matters later in the season. And he's showing off that speed that we all know he has. He absolutely dusts number 24 there. I keep calling him Abram. I hope it's him because I've caught him that about 40 times. But yeah, really great play there. Great play call. The cover three beater, and it worked out for us. And so this next play, to me, is going to be one of the most impressive plays I saw all game. And this was really well figured out by Rivers. Okay, as you can see, all these guys are crept up on this line, and everyone's playing back one high safety. And so that tells Rivers this is probably going to be a blitz. And so he's going to bring Taylor in motion here. Going to put Taylor into the backfield. Pause it here. So what that does, it does two things. It shows him this is man coverage. His guy followed him, the linebacker. And the second thing, it gives him an extra blocker. So, this guy was in man coverage, so he's not going to come on the blitz. So that means there's 5 people coming. Taylor's going to be the extra 6th man blocking. He's going to check and release, but he's not really in this play. He's just there to block. This occupies this guy right here. He's kind of doing nothing on this play, really. Taylor's just there to block. And so now that he knows he has protection, now that he knows this is man coverage, there's a few places he could go. First place, Pittman's going to come in motion here. And he's going to take off on this underneath route. But they're all looking for that. We've seen Pittman do that 100 times already. We love that underneath route to Pittman. But the big play here is going to be Pascal coming across over the top, running this crossing route. And he's going to run it in a perfect spot. Phillip Rivers is going to look off this linebacker right here who's the cover one hole. This is the safety. This is the linebacker. He's going to run it right in between this linebacker and this safety. And he's initially going to do a good job of looking off this linebacker to the left. See, watch this linebacker come over. See there, right there. That's not a linebacker, it's a safety, but he's going to come over. Phillip Rivers is looking this way, and whenever he crosses over, he's not going to be fast enough to catch up to this crosser. Comes over the middle. Right here he is, wide open. Right over top of that guy, the hole, and right over top of the safety. And he's going to catch the ball for a huge gain. So this last play I have for you guys in the passing execution portion, and then we're going to move on to the defense, the defensive plays I got for you guys. This is going to be us in a run formation. As you can see, we have a lot of guys here. Hypothetically, 8 blockers, including our fullback. And everyone's going to be stacked up on this line. I mean, you can see 9 people in the box. They're pretty much daring us to pass. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to run play action here. Play action. And you're going to see everyone. I mean, look at every single person bite on this. We've gashed them already. This is the 4th quarter. They know we're killing them in the run game, so they're committing to it. And Rivers knows exactly where he's going to go. There's one high safety. He's got to play the deep ball. And this guy, he's playing man coverage. Hilton's had his way already. And he's going to do a nice job running this curl route, and he's going to get all kinds of separation and make this catch. Boom, good curl route. It's about 2.5 yards of separation. Catches this ball, takes a big lick, and still hangs on to it. That's an excellent route. That's exactly what you want to see. Hilton makes the catch. Reliable hands. You don't see many drops from Hilton. Even this year, I've seen one big drop that's for about a 50-yard touchdown. That's the only big drop I've really seen from him. I guess the 4th downs, or the 3rd and 4th down in one game that could have went our way if he caught them. But still yet, it hasn't been an incredible bad year. It's not been an Eric Ebron year or something like that. And this was just a really good play call and a great effort there from Hilton to hang on to that ball, even taking that hit. So on this next play I'm going to show you, we finally made it to the defense making big plays and then executing in the red zone. Now, through the air, our pass defense wasn't really the good this game. I felt like Derek Carr could really move the ball all he wanted until he got to the red zone. Then it was kind of an issue for him. But we were controlling the trenches very well up front. We held Josh Jacobs to under 4 yards a carry. That's impressive. That's something a lot of teams cannot do. He's a fantastic runner. And on this play, you're going to see why. Because Grover Stewart's going to do a really good job on one of the best center in the league, or one of the best centers in the league in Rodney Hudson, of getting his outside shoulder and forcing him upfield. And that's going to cause Josh Jacobs to have to panic kind of and make a decision here. Now, another key thing that happens on this play as well, Tyquan Lewis is going to get penetration from the backside here. They're letting 66 or 55, if that is, roam up to this linebacker, and they're going to trust Trent Brown, who's a very talented guy, to one-on-one block him to reach this 3 technique right here. And he's not going to do it. Tyquan Lewis is going to beat Trent Brown outright. Right there. He's going to force 66 to get a bad step, and then he's going to get right by Trent Brown to make this 3-yard tackle for a loss. That's an excellent play. That's just a gritty play from our defensive line. Tyquan Lewis this has been his breakout year. He's played great this year. I like what Tyquan Lewis brings to the table, especially as that 3-tech kind of guy. I really like that from him. I like him at the 3-tech more than I like Danico Autry. And he can play the edge. I like him playing the edge as well because he's pretty fast. He's not a slow guy. But what I've seen from him at the 3-tech position, I really like. So when I was talking about defense making plays, this was the biggest play we had all game, and it was the Kenny Moore one-handed interception. This was fantastic. Kenny Moore, in my opinion, can be a Pro Bowler. There's a lot of talented corners in this league, but Kenny Moore has made his case very clear. He's making big plays time and time again. He's doing a great job in the run game. And he's only 5'9". Like, he's doing all this with a smaller frame than the majority of corners in this league. So Kenny Moore's really impressed me this year. To me, he stands out as probably our best cornerback. I know Xavier Rhodes has had a career revitalization, but the way Kenny Moore's played this year tells me he was our best cornerback. And right here is one of the reasons why, because initially on this play, Derek Carr is going to do a good job. He's going to look down the middle of the field initially, trying to throw Kenny Moore off. And then he's going to see, okay, Kenny Moore's going to drop into coverage, but it's Darren Waller versus a 5'9" guy. I'm just going to throw it up. But Kenny Moore's not having it. He's going to do a great job of dropping into coverage, not being thrown off by his eyes initially, and then making this one-handed interception. Let's see it. Yeah, excellent job there, and just drops back. I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. What a great interception. Like I said, you can watch Carr initially looks over here, and then looks over and just throws it immediately. I don't think he had any idea that Kenny Moore would have diagnosed that play as well as he did, because he dropped right back where he was throwing it to. It's like he telegraphed it. It's like he read his mind where he wanted to go with this ball, and he comes up with a huge interception that really shifted momentum in this game. So, on this next play, we're going to see what I was talking about whenever I said this defense was executing in the red zone. Now, this is an obvious running formation, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to run this power to the right, and you're going to see our defense just completely collapse on this play. You're going to see about 4 bodies at this ball. Josh Jacobs is going to do a good job of getting what he could out of it, but this is just a great play in the red zone. It's 2nd and 7. They need this first down, and these next 2 plays I'm going to show you is what I was talking about. They tighten up, they force this field goal, and that's a big win for us, especially in a close game. Let's see it. Boom. Good job by Grover Stewart to force him back to the inside there, beating his face, cutting off that power running lane. And you'll see as well, Grover forces him to cut back up. Leonard's feeling right off his hip, and then Willis is going to fill in this hole. So all the holes there were closed up, and then you're going to see Houston, Buckner, Kari Willis get in there and just completely shut down this run play. So on this next play I'm going to show you is a great job of our defense executing. You're going to see a cover 1 play call here. Julian Blackmon's playing this deep part over the middle. And then Darius Leonard's going to be manned up with this running back. And so they're going to run a slant here to Aguilar. This is the matchup they want. They want Rocky Sin one-on-one with Aguilar. Rocky Sin's just going to do a great job executing on this play. He does a great job in coverage, no pass interference, stays right in his hip pocket, and breaks this slant up that causes a 4th and 7. Let's see it. Excellent coverage there. Look how good it was. That was perfect. That was perfect coverage. He didn't guess which way he went. He read his body, he reacted, and then made a play. That was an excellent job from Rocky Sin. He's caught a lot of flack the last pretty much this whole season. He hasn't played up to expectations, but that was the big play there. On 3rd and 7, they go right at him, and he breaks it up, stopping the touchdown. So again, this is going to be another example. These next 2 plays, at least, are going to be another example of us executing in the red zone. That bend don't break defense really coming to fruition, I should say. We just played really good defense when we got into the red zone, which was great. We've done that pretty much all year too. We've done a good job in the red zone defensively, I feel like. And then on this play, they're going to do the same thing they did last time they came to the red zone, and they're going to go at our weak defensive back that's on the field, and that's going to be TJ Carey. TJ Carey's up here. They're going to bring him in motion. TJ Carey's going to back off. He's going to be playing defense against 15. Carr's going to rotate out here. He's going to try to fit this ball in here, but TJ Carey did too good of a job. Way too good of a job for Carr to really do anything here. I know you can't see him up there, but he's doing a good job. He's staying right with him. And he's going to break this pass up that's going to force a 3rd and 10. And so this is the play right after. It's going to be 3rd and 10. And I guess they didn't learn from last time. They're going to go right back at Rock. And he's going to do a good job in coverage. He's going to stay outside of his body. He's going to allow the underneath catch. And then he's going to make the tackle immediately. They throw a 5-yard out whenever it's 3rd and 10, expecting, I don't know what they're expecting, because Rocky Sin is one of the best tackling corners in this league. And Nelson Aguilar really isn't known for his after the catch, abilities. He's fast, of course, but he's not going to stop on a dime and get away from Sin. He's a 2-time state champion wrestler in high school, incredibly physical, and right there he does a good job of just keeping him in check, making sure he's not going to get this touchdown, and making the tackle, forcing the 4th and 5. So now we've reached the 4th quarter. The Raiders are in a desperate area. They're trying to come back. At this point, I think it's just a 2-score game. So right now, they still have hope. It's at the 9:23 mark in the 4th quarter. That's plenty of time to get 2 scores. But keep your eyes on Kenny Moore, because he's going to completely diminish any thoughts of that. Against the Packers, whenever they threw that screen, Julian Blackman was the one that came up and forced the fumble from Valdez Scantley. This time it's going to be Kenny Moore coming up and forcing the fumble on the screen. Let's see it. Right here's Kenny Moore. Just a perfect job. You really wouldn't expect that to be a fumble, but he does a good job of getting that left arm there and just smacking the ball. I'm not 100% if it was even intentional, but it was a great job either way, and just pretty much sealed the deal on this game, ended any hopes of them coming back. Once we get the ball here, we go and score. It's a 3-possession game, and that was maybe the biggest play of the game. That took all the air out of the stadium, especially for the Raiders. The Raiders were just demoralized at this point. What a great play there from Moore. So the last play I got for you here is just going to be another really big play. And I'm sure you know what's coming. The Khari Willis pick 6. The only man on our team that hasn't missed a tackle all season. So every time he's attempted to tackle, he's got the tackle. That's really impressive. Khari Willis has stepped this play up expeditiously. Wish I could pronounce that right. This season, he's done a great job. And I love that, because I was really a big believer once Malik Hooker got injured that he would come back and it would be Julian Blackman and Malik Hooker back there at the strong safety and free safety position. We could have threw Malik Hooker at the strong safety. He's about 6'1", 215. He's not scared to get his hands dirty. He'll go in there. He'll make a play. But the way Khari Willis has played, I just don't see him bringing him back, because Khari Willis has really earned his spot on this team, I feel like. He's a sleeper player. Not many people know him, and he makes big plays. And right here, you're going to see a huge play. Now, a lot of people wanted to say that, Derek Carr, it wasn't his fault for these interceptions. And I can see why. Kenny Moore, that was just a crazy play. No one really saw that coming. But this one right here, for some reason his running back, this looks spot on. For some reason his running back goes for a one-hand grab, and it just slips off his hands. Khari Willis is in the perfect position. He's going to take that ball all the way back for 6. That's great. I'm happy to see that, because I love Khari Willis. I think he's a fantastic player. I wasn't really sold on him till about week 6, week 7. Then I started really seeing the impact he was bringing to this defense, being that secure tackler, being able to come down into the box, make plays. I'm really happy, he gets paid off here with a pick 6, gift wrapped, whether it might have been, gifted to him, it's whatever. I'm sure he'll take it. But yeah, that's all the plays I got for you guys. If you're still here, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening to what I got to say. I'm super happy with how this Colts team is playing right now. If you think about it in perspective, this game against the Raiders was do or die for both teams. The Raiders knew if they lose this game, probably not making the playoffs. Same thing for the Colts. And I saw something actually that said that the Colts even at 11-5 still couldn't make or still might not make the playoffs depending on how certain teams do. The Ravens, the Browns, and another team, I forgot who it was. But yeah, this was a great game. This was must win, do or die. And we came out here and we just absolutely dominated. We smoked the Raiders. That last score they got was just a give me. It was, at the end of the game, we were just playing prevent. This was really more of like a 4-score game. Like, we just completely dominated the Raiders. But yeah, like I said, if you're still here, I appreciate you being here. Drop a like, drop a subscribe if you like the content. But until next time, guys, peace.